$800 milyong o mahigit 35.5 billion pesos ang ipinangako ng United Nations na donasyon sa Pilipinas para sa rehabilitasyon ng mga napinsala ng Super Typhoon Yolanda. Bukod dito, siniguro rin ni UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon na pagdating ng taong 2015 ay magkakaroon na ng kasunduan ng mga bansa kaugnay ng climate change. Yan ay para matulungan ang mga bansang katulad ng Pilipinas na makapaghanda sa epekto ng pagbabago ng ating klima. Narito po ang kabuuan ng aking panayam kay UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon.
General, thank you. First of all, Mr. Secretary General, let me just thank you formally for this wonderful opportunity to interview you. And thank you for coming to our country.
I just wanted to see for myself how United Nations and the Filipino government were doing to address this tragic disaster caused by Typhoon Yolanda. As you know, United Nations has launched a strategic response plan with the amount of $800 million. And this is immediate response coming over 12 months. And I will urge and appeal to international community to do more.
Corruption is still a big issue in our country. Will the UN help ensure that the money will indeed go to where it was originally intended?
Not only in this disaster assistance, the good governance and rule of law, that's a basic foundation of any government, any society. And I'm sure that under the leadership of President Aquino, the Filipino government will make sure that, ensure that these assistance and resources will be spent. The United Nations will continue to help them.
It has been said repeatedly, Mr. Secretary General, that it is poor countries like the Philippines who are most vulnerable to climate change. We are the ones paying for the huge carbon emissions of richer countries. And this is an injustice.
The developed countries are obliged to pay $100 billion to help developing countries like Philippines to mitigate and adapt to the climate change situation. And we are going to operationalize this Green Climate Fund as soon as possible. I'm going to convene the Climate Change Summit meeting on September 23rd next year. And I have invited President Aquino. He gladly accepted my invitation.
How do we make the developed or the rich countries accountable for their huge carbon emissions? How do we make them accountable other than inviting them to negotiate?
We need to have a global legal agreement on climate change. We are very much committed. This is a promise of member states among themselves to have a legally binding treaty by 2015. By doing that, we will make the developed world accountable for what they have caused to this world. This negotiation is actively now going on. And I am taking this as a #1 priority.
The Philippines is embroiled currently in a territorial dispute with China, and it looks like this part of the world is getting to be more problematic. How do you look at this region?
I know that there is some territorial dispute in this part of this area, South China Sea. I sincerely hope that this issue will be resolved peacefully through dialogue.
Will the UN help bring China to the negotiating table? Because the Philippine government has already gone to the UN for arbitration, but China refuses to be under that arbitration as well.
When this has been brought to the tribunal under the law, international tribunal under the law of the sea, then we need to see the result of their judgment But in such a case, United Nations Secretary General doesn't have much role to play.
What is your job like? What is it like being the Secretary General of the United Nations? Is it accurate to say that your job is like you're the president of all the presidents of the world?
I'm committed as the Secretary General of the United Nations to make this better for all. We really hope by 2015 to reduce by half the number of abject poverty and bring every children to the school, even primary school, and ensure that there is equality between men and women, and there should be no person who would be dying from preventable diseases and climate change, etc.
Sounds like a job for a superhero, Mr. Secretary General. But do you ever wonder whether we will ever achieve world peace in our lifetime?
We need the political will and commitment and determined engagement of world leaders. Not a single country or organization, however powerful or resourceful, can address these challenges. Therefore, we need to work together. That's what I'm doing as a Secretary General, to forge a strong partnership and solidarity. One of the reasons I'm coming here to demonstrate my solidarity to the people of the Philippines.
Thank you very much again for this interview and for visiting our country and even the devastated areas. Thank you for all your help.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.